Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cutting Card Mage channel. Today we are going to hop back into everyone's favorite series on this channel of Commander Breakdown. And we're going to be talking about one of my favorite commanders that I own and play on a consistent basis of Optimus Prime Hero. As usual, if y'all want to let me know of any decks I should check out and try, or any cards I should add to the current deck I'm talking about, feel free to do so down in the comments below. Now with that, let's get into this. Alrighty, so let's get into it. So first and foremost, Optimus Prime is a 3 mana and Jeskai commander, or you can cast him for 2 colorless and Jeskai, which is blue, red, and white. And he is a either 4/8 or a 6/8, depending on which side you cast, of a Transformer. Now, he has a very interesting ability of at the beginning of each instep, bolster 1, which bolstering 1 is you put a +1/+1 counter on the lowest, on the creature with the least toughness among creatures you control. And you can also, if he dies, return it back to your battlefield in your control with him transformed, which is him as a truck. But his truck side, which you can cast out of the command zone for 2 and blue, red, and white, or 2 colorless and Jeskai, has living metal, which makes it to where it is a creature during your turn, even though it's just an artifact vehicle. It has trample, and whenever you attack, bolster 2. The chosen creature gains trample until end of turn, and when that creature deals combat damage to a player, you get to transform Optimus Prime back over. Now, this deck of mine comes with 2 other Transformers in it, one of which being RC and the other being Jetfire. Now, one of the main goals of this entire deck is proliferating and putting a bunch of counters onto things and taking advantage of things you control having counters and maybe your opponent not having any counters. So you'll have the different kinds of removal spells of you can do like a board wipe and just wipe everything out whenever it doesn't, with creatures that don't have counters, or you'll have stuff with like the Tyrannid Gargoyle, where it gives creatures with counters flying, which allows you to, swing out with all your creatures if your opponents don't have any flying. There's also the Merfolk, who makes creatures with counters on it unblockable. There's just a lot of tech that you can do with this deck that I very much enjoy, of being able to just like proliferate and bolster up your forces. Now, this was one of the very first commander decks I ever bought / built back last year, and it is so far my favorite. It is the second deck I use the most of that and the Wolverine, which, already did a video on, and I tend to refer to it affectionately as I'm playing with my action figures because, Transformers and a Marvel superhero tend to be action figures against, like, your Elish Norns and that kind of stuff in a commander pod. I very much enjoy this deck, and I understand, like, it's a universes beyond commander, so some people might not be as big of a fan of it, but for me, this was one of the last sets specifically that I collected before I got back into it, solely because I wanted to get the Transformers cards, because I have a huge fondness for the robots in disguise from my dad introducing them to me from a young age. So I very much love being able to just like experience that joy of Transformers, and being able to now have like this commander deck that is actually pretty decent if Optimus doesn't get instantly destroyed, makes it a lot of fun for me. And again, that's why I kind of love the Universes Beyond sets, is it's the sets that get me into it of a person that doesn't know that much about Magic, but wants to actually like try to learn to play and that kind of thing. An interesting tidbit about Optimus Prime himself is it says each instep. For the longest time, until I watched someone else play Optimus Prime on Big Deck Energy of Skill Check, I thought it was just at the beginning of my instep. So once I figured that out, Optimus became a lot more of a threat of I'm just being able to beef up each of my creatures consistently to the point where it's just dang near impossible to take me out because I'll have just Optimus Prime. I'll also have the creature that gives um, creatures you control with counters on them lifelink or stuff along those lines, where it's just makes it a very fun deck to play, but also might not be the biggest fun thing to play against. One of the cards I very much do want to add to it is one of the commanders from the Edge of Eternity's commander deck, which solely because one, the Apogee, voice of Apogee, I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, I will put it right here while I'm talking about it, is a Jeskai commander, and it has proliferate, and that, that's the entire basis of the Optimus Prime deck, and I just really find that a lot of fun. All in all, it's a very fun deck, and obviously I'll have it linked down below so you can see what all the cards are in it. And besides that, if there's any decks you do want me to also take a look at or have a gander at, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And as usual, if you want to see more of this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will hopefully pop up in your feed a lot more. Outside of that, that's about it. Thanks for watching.